Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. So I recently got another very cool Jurassic Park lot of figures, although there are one or two Jurassic World figures as well. But the majority are Jurassic Park figures, and I did get them for a really good price. It was about 50 bucks for this whole lot. There's not an insane amount. It's definitely not one of my best lots ever. However, there is one figure included that I've been on the hunt for a very, very long time. And it's pretty much the entire reason that I kind of took note to the lot and purchased it because of this one figure. But we'll bring each and every one of them in here to show you guys what was included. And the very first one is probably one of the ugliest figures ever when it comes to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World figures. If it doesn't want to stop stomping over there, it is again stomping. It is the Jurassic World Tyrannosaurus Rex figure, which is probably, again, like I said, one of the ugliest figures in the entire history of the JP toy line. This one does have some wear. You can see a little bit of wear in the neck as far as the real feel areas go. Same deal back here with the tail. You can see it a little bit up here at the top. But for the most part, it's in pretty darn good condition. It amazes me how I have old Kenner Jurassic Park figures that have that real feel, and they have lasted the test of time so far, but then this one from, 2015 is already breaking and creasing, and it's a bad scene when it comes to the Hasbro Jurassic World toy line. But again, I did get this figure. I don't recall if I have it or not before. I don't really remember. I don't think I had this larger version. I think I have this somewhat smaller version, so either way, I'm pretty happy to add it to my collection, even if it is a pretty ugly figure. Then we have the, if I can get it in frame, Jurassic Park 3 Tapejara figure, and again, a really fantastic figure. I think the Jurassic Park 3 toy line from Hasbro is really, really underrated. I feel like a lot of the figures in that line were really quite incredible, honestly, especially when it came to the sculpt. But one of the highlights of the line for me was the pterosaurs, the pteranodon, the Tapejara that we have here. I really feel like the pterosaurs themselves were incredibly well sculpted, and you can see that throughout this pterosaur specifically. But this one is actually in really, really good shape. I don't even know if there's a chip of paint or anything taken off of it anywhere, so I was really psyched to find this one in the box included and in such great shape. Then we have the Lost World Spinosaurus, and again, this one is in really, really good shape. You can see there's a little bit of paint chipped off here on the tail, and I never really mind chips of paint or anything on my Jurassic figures, just because they're pretty old and, you know, you're gonna have to expect some sort of a beating to have occurred on these figures over time. But again, this one really is in good shape. Definitely doesn't have much paint or anything taken off of it at all, and the action feature still works really well. So I'm definitely quite happy to add this one again to my collection with such a beautiful appearance to it, really nice paint apps, and just the fact that it really hasn't taken much of a beating over the years is pretty impressive to me. Then we have probably the most common Jurassic Park figure of all time, the Dimetrodon. I already have this guy, so it's not really too exciting to have this one entered into this lot, but regardless, another Dimetrodon just means another repaint at some point. And those thoughts follow through with this Pachycephalosaurus, as I do already have this guy, actually a few times, same with this and the Dimetrodon. I do have quite a few of them, so probably a repaint at some point. And then we have this Triceratops from the Lost World, I believe. But you can see that the horn is broken off of this one, so it does have some damage. But I actually have one of these sitting around that I did want to repaint, so maybe I'll repaint this one with it, and then maybe give this one a broken horn type of an appearance, and then it'll look like a very cool mating pair or something along those lines. Regardless, it's a fun figure, just not really the best Jurassic Park Triceratops that there's ever been. Then randomly we have the Jurassic World articulated Indoraptor in here. This is definitely going to be a repaint at some point because I obviously have this one from the initial release. It was one of the first figures I think that I had purchased from the Mattel toy line. The initial one I believe was the Carnotaurus, but this one followed pretty quickly after, so nothing new or crazy with that as far as my collection goes. But then we have this one, and this is one I don't believe I had before, the Aqua Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, which again, I really am a pretty big fan of the Jurassic Park 3 toy line. I think a lot of the figures are severely underrated, and again, looking at this one, you can see how incredible the sculpt is, and the paint itself also looks really quite nice. So definitely psyched to have this one added into my collection, and a really beautiful looking figure overall. Then we have this random little guy just kind of hanging out in here, a velociraptor of some kind. Nothing special with him, and I apologize to him if I hurt his feelings with that. Then we also have this very nice Jurassic Park 3 Triceratops. Again, beautiful looking sculpt, really nice looking paint job on this figure, and I am again a big fan of this Triceratops as well. Then we have the Parasaurolophus, which is a really nice figure, one of my favorites I think from the Jurassic Park toy line. Overall, I absolutely adore this Parasaurolophus figure. The sculpt is so close to the original Stan Winston sculpt that you just cannot help but absolutely love this figure. So really cool. I do have this one already, but I am psyched to add it to my collection again. Probably going to repaint that one just because I've always wanted to repaint one of those Parasaurolophus figures. Then we have this giant, I assume Imaginext raptor of some kind. I don't know much about this. I really don't know much about the Imaginext line at all, but it was in here, so I figured I'd show you guys. It definitely was a Jurassic World figure. You can see it right there, kind of fading away there on the thigh, but again, pretty cool, I guess, just not something that I personally would have been on the hunt for. Then the Spitter Dilophosaurus, I already have a few of these, but I fully intend on repainting this one for sure. Then we've got the young Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's a little dirty, you can definitely see it on the rib cage. And again, this is one that I actually really wanted to repaint for a very long time, so I'm going to clean this guy up and definitely repaint him at some point soon. And then we have the Utahraptor, which is always a wonderful figure to have. Love this figure for sure, a really beautiful Jurassic Park figure. And then the final one, which is the one that I wanted the most. It's something I never had in my collection, and I always really wanted to add it to my collection. And it is this, the Jurassic Park 3 Allosaurus. It's a very nice looking figure, and I honestly had no idea it was as nice as it was until I actually got this one and pulled it out of the box and took a nice close look at it. I was honestly way too excited to get a hold of this because it's such a very cool, nicely articulated Allosaurus figure, and wow, is the detail on this thing absolutely insane in person. So beyond excited to add this to my collection. The action features and everything still work, so he can give us that very cool Night at the Roxbury style head movement, and definitely psyched overall to have this one, especially in such good shape. It's in really nice shape, so a beautiful Allosaurus figure from the Hasbro Jurassic Park line. So that's my very cool Jurassic Park lot that I got for 50 bucks. Definitely worth the price of admission, I would say. I got quite a bit of very cool figures. And I do want to remind you guys to keep hunting for dinosaurs in your areas. Check your Facebook Marketplace, your Craigslist, all that fun stuff, and maybe you'll stumble upon some really cool dinosaur lots like this one. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.